What's up, everybody? Okay, let's get back over here, get acquainted, and strap in for this ride real quick. A few things were coming to mind. I was in between videos, been watching people's videos to get a few ideas of other things maybe I've touched on or inspired to talk about or something like that, or just a different angle of perspective. There you go, a little tongue tied there for a second, but uh I was thinking about a memory, or if you have a memory like this, you walking down a pier by a beach or any area. I was thinking of Venice Beach personally, but you got the guys out there peddling things, selling things, creating things, and then you have the people who have like the step right up and play games. Step right up, step on in, the weather's nice, everybody take a chance, see if you could win. And they're playing the three card, what is it, three card Molly? Is that what it's called? Three card Molly type stuff right there. And they're switching the stuff around. And it's like, you swear you've got it. And they're just, they're getting people left and right. And the thing about it is, you think you're watching what's going on, and you take a guess at it, and your eyes can't be deceiving you, right? But then you indeed didn't get it. And why does it even work though, right? Because of that sleight of hand, because of the part of the story that you don't know, the part of the story you can't see. Maybe this person is slick, has another pocket inside their sleeve or something, and they have been palming the pieces into that pocket and just getting everybody, right? Like, you never can really quite judge it for what it is because you don't have the whole story. Or you could just be bad at, you're misjudging, and you could be bad at making those choices, right? Like, you can't follow the sleight of hand. And that's kind of like what this is about right now is, you have to, in order, how do you, not to participate in games like that when you feel like you're getting taken for a ride. Like, if something's too easy or too good to be true, then it most likely or probably is, I guess, is the best way to say it. I'm not sure if I get the right words all the time, but I try, but I'm just a guy over here doing music and trying to connect with you. But I just try to make it interesting, spend some time here in this space so I can do just that and everything. But yeah, that sleight of hand is kind of like what I'm getting at here. Like, what part of the story don't you know? Um, there was a guy, what's his name again here? Hold on a second. Okay, there was a guy, his name is Paul Lance, and I think the title of the video was something like "White People Are Now Experiencing What Black People Have Noticed Since the 1600s," basically, right? And I've done other videos in the past that kind of express, upon learning a lot, and walking this path of trying to do your own thing, because I've never really had like a practical path like a lot of people are fortunate to have. Hats off to you if you got that. Not mad at it at all. Just my path seemed to be a little weird and different. But we always run into these contradictions of things that are told to you, you're encouraged to do, and then when you get there, it's kind of like people don't want to see you there. You run into some turbulence or interference that seems to slow you down, so on and so forth. So it's like, what part of the story is being missed, right? And that's kind of like what he was talking about. But he says, like, white people are experiencing what black people have experienced, for a very long time. And basically saying that their society was blind to a lot of the things that were taking place because of the beneficiary status it would give certain people, right? And I'm not saying in this expression also not to be, misinterpreted as saying all people of any culture would feel one way about something, right? And it's never the case. But as usual, also, it's the people who look like you're the closest to you, sometimes without knowing, that can kind of do you the worst. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of sold out, their own people in that aspect to have the benefit over the freedom of the right choice, instead to give into the power structure and get plugged into the matrix, right? So they take a trade-off, right? They like the ignorance is bliss type of expression in order to just have less waves, right? But it always comes at a cost, like rubbing a genie lamp. You want one thing, but you get a whole bunch of side effects from it without knowing the rules of the game completely. And so that's what people are realizing now, that they're in a system that has been run by some very, terrible people that don't really care about human beings and don't really care about your families. And it's all about benefiting to get more and more, because it's a sickness also from entitlement and a sickness. But both of them could be a sickness, really. I mean, but there's definitely things that are off, as we can all agree on that. And so, just to devour all resource and um, all resources, even people, people, animals, everything, in order to just have what? A little bit more of what in the end, if there's nothing left to get and they devour each other, they will be the king of nothing, right? The ruler of nothing, literally the ruler of what used to be, right? But long time has passed and now it's just mounds of dust and memories and skeletons and things. But the balance of life likes to find a way for everything to thrive and move forward, which also was expressed in this gentleman's video as well, which I've expressed as well. There's enough out there for everybody to get what they need to get. I just think it would strengthen our system as a whole. It really wouldn't be any disadvantage. It would just make everything a little bit better. But unfortunately, some powers or some attitudes like to use a very psychopathic, or like I've been saying, these narratives are strange, but they like to use these fear inciting, angst inciting type of actions, to take upon a person or to inflict upon people to make them on edge or commit to behaviors that they probably wouldn't really do, just having a regular, normal, level headed day without being kicked around so much. But it's always that sleight of hand. It's in the narratives of what's being told. And some people, of any culture may think that they're solely being picked on until you see the complete history of how people have been disenfranchised and kind of coaxed into signing paperwork or going along with a certain narrative. Because if they didn't, then the threat was real. And so they just bowed down and went along with the tune. Or other people that were unscrupulous to certain methodologies that people were pushing at times as well. These things happen to this day, where they make something sound like it's going to give you so much benefit, but then in the end, it actually takes from you. So I could use even up to this point, um, AI right now is kind of going through that, right? And you also have like these people back in the days that I don't know who did it or how it was done, but these crop circles and different things, and you have these elaborate pictures that were made in fields, and one of them translated, and mathematically it translated into beware the bearers of false gifts and things like that. So you can kind of see those things playing out, in real time, which is very strange. So it's kind of like, yeah, they'll offer you one thing with the song and dance, but once you agree to it, then it kind of shifts gears, and then you find yourself at a disadvantage and checking in to do the things that you already did with no problem, right? So you kind of give up a lot in order to get just a few things. And that's what you start to notice in the end, that, the work of the many would benefit the many, and then the work of the many only benefit the few. And that's a weird switch up, so, but it's that sleight of hand that people never really get. The path of least resistance can go both ways. Something that you haven't prepared for, or the path that you should take, or or the path that you should avoid. They say the path of least resistance sometimes can make you lazy as well. So we can kind of see them all play out. It all plays on different sides, which most things in life are multifaceted according to the circumstance, right? It's all circumstantial, right? So that's where things can get kind of weird too sometimes when expressing things, because things are somewhat circumstantial. In this circumstance, we'd be missing a lot of small points that would enable us to pick out the deceit. And the only way to do that, though, is to become very knowledgeable. And that's what I was getting a hunch of throughout all the study journeys, throughout everything. It's like whatever is more advanced, or let's just use that to say something is more advanced or godly or anything like that. Definitely seems to want to push us towards being very intelligent, being very involved with a lot of different matters. Even the people that they used to appoint to handle more social type of scenarios, be like a civil servant of sorts, excuse me. These people were very well versed, very well rounded, went to multiple schools, learned multiple languages, so they're polyglots, they're polycultural, like polylingual, polycultural, the understandings of turmoils between different nations and lands, and what their what their events and issues that are taking place. They'd be very well versed in those things. And so I think that kind of regal quality should kind of trickle down into us and be that major driving positive influence to where we kind of strive to be somewhat in the same light, which also will keep us in a balance, like the universe is, and everything equal parts to the earth as is to us. Keep it all in check, and I think we just keep on a better path. Sure, we'll always have issues and things like that, but I think we'll be on a better path. But no matter what, hey, you shouldn't feel bad. The best of the best will get got out here. You know what I'm saying? People are very good at whatever devices or tools that they've picked up and learned to use over the years. So some people's profession is literally to manipulate and control and things like that. Hence, the word politic used to mean to scheme or to plot. They tried to change the definition, but it's what it means. And so if someone's a practitioner of such things, they would be called da 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 da. You can fill in the blank, right? But nevertheless, even about sleight of hand, talking about other measures that I've noticed and seen, and I used to share them with family members. I'd call them and we'd be in a deep conversation no matter what. I love this person no matter what time it is. We can call each other and pick up right where we left off. I know if you have somebody like that in your life, you know what I'm saying, shout them out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely special connections out there in the world that we have with people. But I was expressing how one technology, when you hear people talking about waves for the future and waves for change, because some people are under the impression that they are appointed to be the dictator of the direction you're going to take with your changes. So they try to come up with these campaigns and all these catchphrases and all this stuff that makes it look like a party. And but at the same time, they're only presenting one side of things to you in your range of vision. Even by coastal standards, on the West Coast they'll show one part of the technology, on the East Coast they'll show another part of the technology, in the South there'll be another part, and then overseas perhaps. But nevertheless, you get the picture that it's three-card Molly. Yet again, we coming around full circle in this one. So you can see how they play that with us and with the messages and actions that take place. So you'll be looking this way, that away, but never knowing the exact road. Even roads have similar, they have the same names in certain areas that are government districts and service districts. So that way, only certain people know which road to take. Three-card Molly on your brain. They seem to like this game, I'm saying, this game of three-card Molly. Try to see if you can catch what I've done. I'm a trickster and I live to deceive, and they want to see if you can maybe beat them at their own game, which is really strange. But but there's arrogance when it comes to a dark side stuff like that, because they get so arrogant, like it works so good that they think they can never be figured out. But nevertheless, there's people out here that have the eyes, have the chops to figure things out, read between the lines, and they can see these things. The only thing that we have at our disposal is the truth and exposing that truth, and also, like with us, not to make the same mistakes over and over again. But nevertheless, yes, three-card Molly is the game. These guys love three-card Molly. They like dress up. They like three-card Molly. You know what I'm saying? They like these things. They like pick the tall tale. They like that one too, to see if you could tell if they're just telling a fib. It's weird. But nevertheless, you can see this play out. As I said, they test one piece of the technology here and then over there. Like I've shared in other videos, like I seen over in Japan, they were testing out D points. In Korea, I believe they were doing something similar, digital points, where you earn these credits in a digital system in order. It's like having Bullwinkle bucks or coins. It's like having Boomer coins. It's like having Dave and Buster bucks, Buster bucks or whatever. It's like, but you can spend it within their system in relation to the contribution of whatever that was that you made. So once you hit that level and that contribution, then you could be eligible to use these credits for something which is out of here. That shit is weird. You know what I'm saying? But then they'll have other parts of the system working in other areas. You know what I mean? So, in other words, like at one point, automated systems are not anything that's new. But noticing that in one area they'll have, like on the West Coast, they would have a place that still has like the conveyor belts and things moving like that for your food to come out and be served, but someone still takes your order. On the East Coast, you would take your own order, you would place your own order, uh, um, and then people would serve you your food still. So it's like if you put them both together, though, then I think some people would probably have freaked out at the time, maybe said something, have a little rebuttal, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened in the past too. Also, it wasn't practical, so we have to stick with things that are practical, not get taken for these too good to be true type of stories, because perhaps it's not about what we think it's about, right? All the time we fall for it and lose a bunch. So, but nevertheless, everybody's being duped. That's what this guy was expressing in his video too. Everybody's being duped. One spin for a spin for a spin for a spin. It's always been this way. That's what it is. If people thought that music was only coming for one particular group or another, oh no, you can see the seductiveness, the suggestive behavior, the shifts, crossing over. What do you call it? Um, 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 what's it called? I forget. Androgynous type stuff, right? Where it's not male or female, but they try to mix it up. All these different things. They try to feminize a man and try to emasculate, and try to make a woman more masculine. All these different things. Like, not saying that those things don't exist in nature too, but just saying there's like a hard note to push what happens naturally instead. Like, just like force it. And but you'll see this everywhere. No matter what, there's always going to be a weird story about how oversexed something is, or how provocative it becomes, or or how violent it becomes, or it's always attached to something darker, or what I'm saying. And I think me personally, possibly, I'm not saying 100%, but maybe it's linked to other scenarios. Maybe it's linked to something else, who knows, right? But nevertheless, I just wanted to touch on that with you, man. I hope you enjoyed the content. Definitely like the video if you haven't already. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hype the video, share the video, whichever way. It's just always really appreciated, man. To try to come up with these topics, get motivated, get up here, have the energy. It's always a challenge, and I'm just working with what I got. So each and every person, I definitely appreciate. You know what I'm saying? I hope my gibberish makes some sense, and I hope my gibberish is entertaining, and I hope that you like this informative gibberish. I hope it is informative to you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and whatever that you're working on, it comes to fruition, and you have the greatest of success, magnified tenfold. And I hope that energy comes back to you. By the way, if you subscribe to my channel and like the videos and stuff, you will have a youth until your 80s. You will look like you're 35 until your 80s. Now, am I telling the truth? Who knows? We're playing the games. Oh boy. No, I'm just kidding. But nevertheless, man, let's have a little fun together. Let's have some laughs together. Let's have some fun together. Let's get on some interesting journeys together. I love to see what you guys are up to, but that'll keep us young. Let's always feed the inner child, as well as take care of the more mature adult, right? The old man and the inner child. And let's just get it all solid and put together in balance, man, out here, and keep moving with the truth, and together in unity, in balance, the way it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, with no BS in between, no tricksters, and we the realest ones. Oh yeah, that's it. I think I'm out, y'all. All right, much love. To the next video. Peace out. Yeah.